I'm here at Rod's workshop this morning here in Yeppoon, and we're talking about cutting this chrysoprase, Marlborough chrysoprase rod. So you've got a lovely piece in your hand there, mate.
This is a lovely big piece of Marlborough chrysoprase. Just
look at that colour.
Gorgeous, gorgeous material. Big, solid, clean area there.
Yeah.
So
don't often get that, mate.
Not in that size. Yeah, little pieces, sure.
Yeah.
You know, lots of little chips like this, but not in a big piece like that. So the opportunity is to cut some of these briolettes that we need. So the process, big piece like that, and then I will slab.
Yep.
From there.
Yep. And
then the thickness of the slabs is going to depend on the size of my future briolettes. So here's a piece already sliced. Thin slice, that'll be about 6mm diameter when they're done. This thicker slice, probably 8mm diameter. So I sliced according to the thickness I need.
So Rod, you're telling us you sliced these pieces off, and then you've got various thicknesses.
Okay, now Ian, got the pieces. So what I have to do is it's an 8mm. So I will mark this so I end up with basically little 8mm square log, so to speak, if you like, just like that, by sawing down there. Saw cuts, mark it out first, and then break that down into these little rectangular pieces.
Okay.
Like that. And sometimes I'll even slice them with the little taper on it.
I see.
Okay, for the briolet.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the next stage.
So Rod, now then you're slicing them down to this rough stage. So where do we go from here?
Over to the grinder now, Ian. And I then start taking the corners off to get my round profile.
I see.
Okay.
Starting to take shape.
Starting to take shape. That's it. Yeah.
So you've got a couple of sort of pre-formed ones over there somewhere, have you?
I was out this morning, did a couple. These are just the rough grind, so they will then become...
I see.
That.
Right.
Okay,
Rod, well, let's have a look at the next step. Maybe we can get a bit of footage of you progressing that further.
Can do.
So, Rod, you've got the piece here in your hand, ready to grind.
Okay, yes, Ian. And if you look at the end, it's fairly close to being square. So now we have to make it into a round. So we grind each of the corners off this part.
How hard is that, Rod? The material?
It's hardness of 7. It's a quartz, so it's hardness of 7. So the beauty of it, it's also very, very tough. A good tough stone. Now you start to see there. You can see this corner starting to disappear.
I see.
So just very slowly. All hand done, because you can't put these onto a dot stick as you would normally do if you're cutting cabbage.
So, Rod, you're getting to a point here now where these are starting to become quite, I guess, identifiable as briolettes. So, what's happening now?
Ian, at this stage, very, very gentle on the grinding wheel, because I've just about got my shape there.
I see.
Yep, very, very close. This is the coarse grinding wheel, so this is where I then start checking dimensions. Okay, it's 8mm approximately. Check that. Just a little bit, 0.2 of a millimetre difference in diameter, which is not going to be noticeable. And I go to the fine grinder as well.
Right.
Check the length. Okay, that's 22mm. This is the other one for the pear, so we'll check its diameter. That's about 0.2 mil different there. So that's close. Check the length again, 22mm.
Okay.
So that's going to be the little pear, close enough on the coarse grinder, and then the last little bit of dimensioning will come on the fine grinding.
So these being hand finished, Rod, you will get a bit of slight variation, is it?
Mate, there has to be, because I can't dop them. It can only be in hand, very gently like that.
I see.
There's always going to be a tiny bit of variation, but minimal. But then, as a pair, they're going to be suspended, so that tiny variation won't be noticeable at all.
Very good. Thanks, Rod. So, Rod, with the cutting of the Chrysoprase Briolettes now, we're at a stage where this this piece here that you've cut previously is now ready to do a final polish, and you've got now this this ready at this particular wheel here. So, tell us a little bit about what you're intending on doing before we start this machine.
Ian, I work with tin oxide on leather. One of the old traditional polishing techniques.
Right.
Okay. One of the problems I have with these little briolettes is I have to hand hold them. They're not on a dop stick. Mm-hmm. On a dop stick you can work the stone and get a good grip on it. With these, they're hand held.
I see.
You cannot put them on a dop stick. So I have to do it very, very gently, because with a leather lap, it's really working best when it actually grips the stone.
I see.
Is when it's really polishing well. So I've got to be very careful. If it grips the stone, it'll fly out of my hands, and that's why I have carpet all over the floor here.
Ah, right, protection of the stone, Rod.
Protection of the stone. Should it get out of my hand again? Okay. That's it.
Well, let's start it up, Rod, and see how we go.
Okay.
What are you doing there, Rod?
Just applying the tin oxide mixed with water as a paste onto the polishing butt. Yep. Now, if I've done the sanding properly, I can be very, very gentle here with the polishing.
Not much noise.
Not a lot, no, not a lot at all, not at the polishing stage.
Right. We're on the final polish here now, Rod, and how long does this take to get it to where you want?
Ian, if I've done the proper sanding procedures, this should only take 30 seconds to a minute to polish a stone like this.
Yeah. So what you're telling us, Rod, is all about the previous cutting processes to get it to this level.
Absolutely, like so much, Ian. Preparation at each step. Now, as a final check for the polish, put it close to your light, rotate the stone,
right,
and see if there are any little blemishes.
Okay.
You see, and you look at the reflection of the light on the stone, not at the stone itself. Look at the reflection.
See. Looks good to me, Rod.
It is. Lovely little piece of stone, lovely little piece of chrysoprase. Another little briolette for us.
Yep. Fabulous. Thanks, Rod.